Good afternoon, folks. I am Sean in Alaska, and welcome to this week's edition of Live from Alaska. Let me know how the video and the audio is real quick, and I'll go through all the regular stuff that I say at the beginning of every video. If you leave a comment and it looks like I have missed your question or whatever, feel free to leave it again. Do it in all caps the second time. If I've already read it and answered it before I get to it, it's not a problem for me. I'll just go ahead and skip over it. But I want to make sure that I get an answer to everybody's question. Good, curmudgeon. Robert says, I am 5x5. That is super awesome. Video and audio is good. I was kind of concerned because it's dumping outside right now. I mean, we're getting a ton of snow right now, which is weird because it's been raining for the last day and a half. It's just an interesting, and of course, now that it's snowing, I've got a barbecue going. Scotty will like this, right? There we go, Scotty. You got a tri-tip on. I got it set for 125. Just put it on before we went live. It's at 59 degrees now and working its way up slowly but surely. Let's jump back up to the top. I like to say hello to everybody. So if I've missed you, again, say hello again to me, and then I'll try and make sure that I answer you. So Robert here. He's one of the people with a wrench in the chat here today. Robert, by all means, share any channel that wants to be shared on here. I have a really good group of people and a good group of viewers, and these lives are always super cool. We always get nice people in here, and most of the channels that watch me, I probably watch them. So would greatly appreciate it. Lila Jane, welcome. Glad you can make it. Joseph Bodoni, how are you? Ready and waiting. Sarah Boss, welcome. Glad you could be here today. I saw this right when I logged on, and I'm glad you made it. It's super awesome to have you here for the live. Oh, scrolling on through. No snow in Philly for Joseph yet. Hester's Garage. Scott, how you doing, brother? Good to see you, my friend. Awesome to have you here. Todd, we went from rain and 34, 35 degrees to, like, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes ago, it just started dumping. And I looked at the forecast going forward. Todd's my neighbor from across the street, folks, the guy that was helping me with the roof and a lot of stuff on the construction project. And we're supposed to have snow heavy at times all the way through 7 o'clock tonight. Crazy. I'm okay, though. I do not mind the snow. Matter of fact, let's get the banner up here right now. The banner today says, welcome all. We have heavy snow in the forecast till 7 p.m. tonight. The temperature is 32 degrees outside, though, so I am not complaining. Anything above is one day closer to breakup as far as I'm concerned. Scotty, 1 inch of snow in Wisconsin. Scotty's the other person I know that's in here with a wrench right now. Scotty, good to see you, brother. If you guys want to know anything about grilling whatsoever, you guys need to check out Scotty's Backyard Barbecue, because not only is Scotty somebody I grew up with and an awesome guy, but man, he's got some tips and tricks, and some of the food that he makes is off the hook good. So check out Scotty at Scotty's Backyard Barbecue. And Scotty, you and Robert both share your own channel links, please. Definitely. Richard, chup, giddy up. Good to see you, my friend. Awesome to have you today. Fired up the grill, made 2 beautiful ribeye steaks. Yum. I'm doing a tri-tip. I'm doing my famous tri-tip, my dry rub tri-tip. Only problem was I should have made 3, right? Yeah, 2's never enough. Ed Case, how are you, my friend? Good to see you today. Dusty Bottom Boys, welcome. Good to have you here. Ginger, welcome. Glad you could be here today. 2 inches of snow in northern Indiana. I saw a forecast that says the main lower 48 is about to get hammered with winter. So, I mean, I think we were joking about it before, and I said, don't worry, yours is coming. I think yours is coming. I talked to my oldest daughter this morning, and she told me that they had like a half an inch at their place, but they've got lots of snow in the forecast for the Sierras. They've got lots of snow in the forecast for the entire West Coast. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be nuts. Jonathan Davis, welcome, my friend. Good to see you today. Angie and Beamer checking in. Very cool. Ward, good to see you, brother. Lindsay Salmons, glad you could make it today. Awesome to have you here. Kristen, rubbing it in. She's got 50s and getting down to 30 tonight. Ooh, you guys have to get the parkas out. People in Arizona are cool, though, because they know they can be super brutally hot and they can be super brutally cold. People from Florida just anger me greatly because they never really get cold. And to them, when it gets cold, all the iguanas fall off the trees. Kevin Wright from Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Got a little bit of snow here. Looks like we might get more snow soon. You love the kitchen walls. Awesome. Good. Looking awesome indeed. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. I am, as of now, completely painted and done in the kitchen. So mudded up, taped up, mudded up, leveled out, evened out, put 2 coats of primer on it, and then turned around and put, I was going to put 2 coats of finish on it, but after 1 coat, I still have like half a gallon left. I don't need a second coat. It's beautiful. I am super, super impressed with how well it turned out. I can't believe that. Can't believe I did it. I still hate sheetrock though. Ray Davis, how you doing, brother? Good to see you today. Love this week's video. Sean, I also hate drywall. I don't know if there's anybody that actually, I had somebody in the comments for this week's video say that they actually enjoyed putting drywall up. They just hated the whole painting and texturing and mudding part. And I opted not to texture because I want something that's easy to wipe down and easy to clean up. And it's the kitchen. So I didn't want to get it textured and get it all fancy. Ward. Esteban, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Art. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. Deep Bay Homestead, welcome. Glad you could be here, Robin Sharon. Awesome to have you here today. Meteorologist, the only job I know where you could be so wrong, make a boatload of money and not get fired, right? But they just say it's a forecast. It's not guaranteed. My brother, one of my younger brothers, Bart, he's probably a better meteorologist than most meteorologists. He can look at satellite imagery and weather patterns and tell you what it's going to do like a week and a half out, and he's almost never wrong. It's crazy. I really think that paper-faced insulation company should start sponsoring AK content. Right? Everybody's saying the audio and the video is good. Ward's saying I got to show the outside. Let's see. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. I'm going to turn the camera. Let me grab it here and go out the window for you. Right there. I mean, that's some pretty darn serious snowfall. We've probably got, I'll bet you we got at least a half an inch. We're probably at an inch an hour right now with the amount of snow that's falling. All right, get the camera back up here where it belongs. Weather's actually nice in North Texas. Well, that's awesome. North Texas is beautiful. Texas is a beautiful state. Very beautiful state. Dimensional Horse, welcome, my friend. Glad you could be here today. Ray Davis says, my family in Burlington, Vermont finally got some good enough snow for my 7-year-old grandson to go sledding. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, when I talked to my oldest this afternoon, my youngest drove down. She lives in the northern part of California, and my oldest lives down like just north of Yosemite National Park. So she drove down to where she lives in Tuolumne with my granddaughter, and that was my granddaughter's first time ever playing in snow. And she said she just had an absolute blast, which was super cool. Joseph said, looks good, but the sound is muffled. Well, let me know if that's an issue. Let me know if that's still an issue going forward. Right, Lindsay, a warm and comfortable 12 degrees above zero in Fairbanks in January, and that is not a common happening. That's crazy. Derek Booth, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Henry Leslie, Vermont, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Lila Jean says 3 inches of snow in Nevada. My dad used to live in Nevada. My dad lived in Silver Springs. Nevada's another beautiful state. America's just... Every state I've been in this union is absolutely gorgeous. I have no complaints whatsoever. The desert of New Mexico and the desert of Nevada at sunset, the colors you will see will blow your mind. Terry, welcome. Good to see you today. Love the channel. Andy, keep up the great work. Nice, nice. There's Scotty sharing Kermudge, Alaska, Robert's channel. Check it out. He just did a live the other day taking the train from Talkeetna to his place. Because that's the only way he can get to his home is getting dropped off on the train line and walking in from there. No roads to his place. Get a little bit jittery. Tony Ruth, welcome. Glad you can make it today. Going to be in the 30s in Woodstock, Georgia this week. There is Scotty's link for Scotty's Backyard Barbecue. I'm scrolling through fast to see if we've cleared this problem up. Matter of fact, I'm going to go to the bottom real quick. Let me pull up Scotty's little comment there and use it as a place name so I can get it figured out. I'll get all the way down here to the bottom. I'm not seeing... You guys will have to let me know. There's nothing I could do about the signal one way or the other. I'll jump back up here to where I was. I am catching up, which is good, though. Forrest, welcome. Glad you could make it today. Hope you had a wonderful week. 8 inches of snow for Henry Leslie, Vermont today, and it's 22 degrees Fahrenheit. Eric Water Truck, what's happening, my friend? I messed up frozen fish sticks tonight, but the fries were okay. Oh, no. Christine Bursey, welcome from the Buchans, Newfoundland, Canada. -12 today, wind chill -18. Not enough snow for ski yet, right? Yeah, we have that. We have plenty of snow for skiing, but luckily we don't get the wind chills that bad unless we got a really big storm coming in. Certain parts of Alaska, depends on where you're at. The weather, the local weather is completely different. So like Homer could be getting massive amounts of snowfall and we could get nothing, or we could be getting, 25 below zero and Homer is like 30 degrees above. So, and that's only a distance of a couple of hours, but Alaska's got a lot of microclimates. Pretty crazy. Andy Francis, welcome from Lapu Lapu. Good to see you. For the channels that Steve and I follow together, they were all about drywall. It was, oh, really? Yeah, it must have been a drywall week. It's funny how that happens, right? The one thing that's nice about this time of year is you can be guaranteed that my content will probably be different than other Alaska videos, other Alaska content. I haven't watched it yet, but Simple Living Alaska is on a tour of all these different state or federal cabins that you can stay in for free or for minimal amounts of money. And they're like doing all these little camping trips one after the next, but I got way too much to do and I still got to go to work every day. Beto, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Isn't it pretty? I showed it to my daughter and that she goes, Dad, I love looking out that window at that snow. And she goes, but I'll look at it from California. Right. Yeah. I need an old day school or an old school snow day off. Gene says, Sean, just wanted to say you've been a big inspiration for me. I've been following you since the outhouse build. I finally got your own land and you're doing the moving into it full time in April. Very cool. Very cool. I love to hear that. Of anything that I ever hear when I'm creating a video, as far as comments that are left or when I'm live right now, when somebody says that I was an inspiration for them to go do what they wanted to do, super cool. Because that's honestly the whole premise of a lot of what I do is if I can do it, anybody can, right? You could dream about doing something one day, or you can make this day one. And to me, that's super huge. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. CK, hi, Sean. Snowing here in Santa Fe and New Mexico and cold today the rest of the week, right? And I just mentioned how pretty New Mexico is too. The colors. He's saying hi back and forth. CB, what's happening, my friend? Good to see you there today. And Angie with you must have had a late start with the snow and snowing there for a couple hours, about 2 inches now. That's crazy. Yeah, we had rain, Ange. And she lives on the other side of the river from me in the Sterling area. So a difference of very, very short mileage. And she's been having snow for a couple of hours. And ours just pretty much started before I got the grill fired up here. See where I'm at right now. 72 on the tri-tip, which is awesome. It's coming up perfect. Everybody's saying everything's coming through now. Loud and clear, which is good. When I was a kid a long time ago, Mom would always make grilled cheese sandwiches and tomato soup on the snow day. I've had grilled cheese sandwich twice in the last week or two. And then I've never made it a secret that I'm a huge fan of our local brewery, Kenai River Brewing Company. If you're ever in this part of Alaska on the Kenai Peninsula in Silvana, you need to check them out because not only are they wonderful people with incredible beer, but Colton, their chef in their kitchen, the man makes some crazy good food. Probably one of the best Reubens I've ever had. But he went he's on a soup kick now because it's winter. So I went in there like on Friday, not this week, last week, and I had jalapeno popper soup. And I swear that every spoonful tasted like I just put a jalapeno popper in my mouth. It was incredible. And the next day they did a Hatch chili spicy tomato soup that was to die for. I love soups, and it was absolutely incredible. We spent the last week in West Texas desert. Nice. Troy Sutton, welcome, my friend. Good to see everyone. 36 degrees in Peterstown, West Virginia. Debbie DeForge, welcome. Glad to have you here today from Powell River, BC. We're at -1 Celsius, expecting to go to -14 later this week. Yeah, chilly. You guys can have the cold because I looked at our 7-day forecast. We're looking at like close to 30 degrees in the afternoon almost every day. I have no complaints, none whatsoever. Lizzie, I refuse to do anything drywall in my cabin when I build it. After doing the kitchen, and I had kind of always thought that I would do drywall in the kitchen just for cleaning purposes because I cook. And a lot of the foods, I obviously I do a lot of frying, I do a lot of sautéing and stuff like that. And that the residue of the oil coming off the pans will really get into everything. So doing the drywall in the kitchen was huge for me because it makes it a lot easier to clean. But after doing the drywall in the kitchen, I may do drywall in a couple other spots here in the cabin because it went very well, very well. No drywall in our place. Too hard to get the sheets up there. That makes sense. You can see, first of all, it's got to come in on the train, and then you have to get it from the train, from the railhead, from your rail, all the way up to your, yeah, that would be difficult. Trudy Cron, welcome. Good to see you today. Happy New Year, everyone. Great seeing you working on the kitchen now. No snow here in Atlanta. I hope that means no snow here in Atlanta, but 30 degrees Fahrenheit, because Atlanta with snow would be a nightmare. BLR, welcome. Good to see you. Hope you're well, bud. Matt from Minnesota, waving. Glad to see you. I'm doing fantastic, man. Doing fantastic. Oh, what else we got? Kyle 505, welcome and good to see you. Cooking buffalo fajitas while I tune in. Very nice. Right now, I've got my buddy heater on the lowest setting it'll possibly go, and upstairs is 71 degrees, and downstairs is 69, almost 70 degrees. Crazy how nice and cozy it is in here. Northern Girl Hobbies, good to see you. Fresh chicken. Joseph, I'm telling you, it's one of the best Reubens I've ever had. To me, the Reubens it's got to be on the right bread. But to me, it's all about the meat, right? And if you don't have enough meat in that Reuben and you don't have the sauerkraut in there with it or the right dressing, it's not the same. It's just a corned beef sandwich. But man, oh, is it good? It is stacked high. Madhunanda, welcome. Good to see you. Greetings in LA from Funny River, Alaska. Rebel Canners, welcome. Glad you can make it today. What color did I paint the kitchen? I was thinking that I wasn't going to do this, but you guys want a sneak peek? It won't be much of a sneak peek, but if you want a sneak peek, I'll give you one anyway. Okay, let's do this. This is just because you guys show up on my lives, right? There it is. I do not see a line or a seam anywhere. So there's one seam on that back wall. There's one seam in the middle of that wall. And then there's two seams, one on the bottom on the other side of the window and one right in that area there. And I didn't see a seam on any part of that. And that is the finished color. The name on the paint can for the color was Extreme White. So that's what I wanted. My daughter told me I was basic because I just make my kitchen white, but I'm super, super happy with how it turned out. Darth, welcome. Lord Vader, good to see you. Scrolling on through here, everybody's saying hello. It's pretty. It is pretty. I'm not gonna lie. And we are at what with the tri-tip now? 75. All right. Might have to run out at some point during this live and double check the charcoal, make sure I got enough in there. JD, welcome, brother. Good to see you. Awesome to have you here today. I hope you and Rhonda are doing well. Sean, maybe a tile backsplash behind the stove for easier cleanup. Not so much behind the stove, but there'll be a nice backsplash above the counter all the way around. So why did I do the kitchen now? Well, when I spoke up in the video originally about why I stopped working on the wood stove, it was because it was like 17 below zero. And while the inside of the cabin wasn't that bad, the floor is still cool. And I didn't really want to play around with trying to set stone for the hearth and for the back of the wood stove. So I said, well, I'm going to switch to the kitchen and do that now. So I can't do cabinets for the kitchen until I had sheetrock in the kitchen. That was my thought on it. I needed to have the sheetrock in there because I wanted something behind the cabinets when I installed them. So now that that's done, see if I can pull this up so you can see it. I've drawn out, and it's actually going to be, this would probably be a better way to look at it, right? So this right here is the stove, and that's right there on that wall. And then it goes all the way along the wall. There's a window there. Then this is the back wall, right? And then this is the side, that pantry side wall, and a refrigerator right here. So I kind of penciled out everything this afternoon for what I'm going to need and how big I want my cabinets to be so that I can start looking at whether or not it's going to be less expensive for me to build them myself, even though I've never built cabinets, with no knowledge, or to buy them. and if I could even buy the cabinets that I'd want for inside there. So that's kind of where I'm at with the entire process now. Is I've just drawn out how many cabinets I need, where I want them all to be, with the actual sizes of the stove that I know I'm going to be purchasing, and the size of the refrigerator I think I'm going to be getting. So now I can move on to cabinets and I can get the kitchen done. It's probably going to end up being the first room in the house that's actually done. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. Right, Lindsay? It's a great Reuben. It's a great Reuben. Yeah, Ward knows the Reubens are so good. Suzanne, welcome. Well, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. I blew myself away. I was like, so Ward gave me the knives to do this with, and then he had some all-purpose mud left over. So he came over, gave me the mixer. I'd watched a couple of videos. I explained to him how I thought I should have to do it. He said, "You got it. Go for it." Then he actually came over before I finished everything up and pointed out a few things that I needed to address, as far as feathering the walls out enough so that it becomes seamless. And I made the grave mistake when I was sanding of sanding too much. So then I had to go back and reapply, and luckily I had enough mud to get all that done. So then when I was done, and you'll see this in next week's video when I'm going through the sanding and cleaning everything up before the painting, I'm going through the taping, the mudding, and the sanding down, getting everything ready. But I know, exciting, right? But what I was after was I wanted to be able to put my hand on that, and I've got pretty sensitive hands. I've worked with my hands my whole life. I wanted to be able to put my hand on the drywall and slide it over every transition and feel no difference whatsoever. And so I was really happy that I got it to come out like I'm blown away that it worked out as well as it did. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. Thanks, Lindsay, man. I greatly appreciate it. You guys get a sneak peek. Ward said afterwards, "Dude, you want a job?" Okay, you had me worried there, Trudy. No snow in Atlanta. Good. You had me worried there. I'm really happy. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I mean, there's a couple of things I might have done differently. One of the comments that I had on this week's video, and I'm surprised it was only like 1 or 2 people that commented it, was how come you didn't do the ceiling first? And that's because the ceiling is going to be wood. So the ceiling is going to be a whitewashed wood ceiling. And I just wanted something that would be a little, and then I'll have trim all the way around the edges. I just wanted something that would contrast a little bit with the walls. So while it will still be white, it'll be an off shade of white. So it'll be a bigger difference, and it'll be a little more secure to adhere my lights to up there as well. But I like wood. There's no secret about that. Thank you, Lily Jean. Greatly appreciated. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you today from Lower Alabama. Awesome to have you here in the Upper Kenai Peninsula. Susan, welcome. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciate it. Scotty, well, look at all the paint runs. Dude, everywhere that I thought it was, I looked at it again. I looked at it from a different angle. I used this silly ring light that I have to bounce off the walls to make sure it wasn't. Right? Exactly. Extreme white, just like outside the windows. Esteban saying the kitchen walls look great. Your place is awesome. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, I'm super happy. And now on to the next project I've never done before, cabinets. That'll be interesting. Birch plywood, 1 4x8 sheet right now at the orange store, $114. So I have to see how many cabinets I can get out of one of those. Cabinets, on the other hand, I could probably buy a 24-inch cabinet for about $240. So I don't know. We'll have to look at it and see. Mike, hello. Where's the screws on sale when you did the drywall, right? I heard that from my son-in-law. Did you get a deal on screws? I told him, yeah, they were buy one, get one free. I came to Anchorage Fish Hook in week of Thanksgiving. Had a great time with your family. Very cool. Very cool. Anchorage has got a lot of snow this year. Anchorage had more snow so far this year than we have. Was talking to Brother Will when I went over and got showered and shaved before the live today. And he told me that he thought the number was right around 90 inches of snowfall so far in Anchorage, which is crazy. Deanna Chester, welcome. Glad you could make it today. Well, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. What did I miss here? What did I miss here? I saw something that says, Ward says, I'd help. I'll help. We'll use Todd's garage. Oh, the cabinets. Now I'm going to do them in the cabin, man. I got a plan. I have a plan in my head. I just have to be able to put it all together. Ward brings the beer. Robert's saying the counters are the hardest part. I built all our cabinets. I have to mill the wood. I want to use for the tops. I have thin counters now until I get them done. Okay. Yeah, and then that's kind of my thought too, is there's so much I've watched, obviously. I've gone to University of YouTube and watched a ton of videos on how to build kitchen cabinets. My big issue is I don't have a table saw. I'm going to build them without a table saw because I searched YouTube up and down. I searched Google up and down how to build cabinets with using only a skill saw. And I couldn't find a video on it, so I'll make one. But I think that I shouldn't have any problems with the idea that I have in my head for how I'm going to do this. I need to measure out the size of all the panels, and then I need to calculate how many I can get out of a sheet of plywood before I get this thing started. How goes the Sean hair sweater? I did give myself a haircut in the last video. I used the birthday or the Christmas present from Brother Will. It feels so good. God, it's so comfy. Southern Blessed Homestead. How the heck are you guys doing? It is awesome to see you, Mac and Patty. Very cool to have you here today. That's a great channel, guys. You should check them out. They're nice people, and Mac is a knucklehead. Will I be getting a disco ball light? No, that is Ward. That is Russell, and only Russell is allowed a disco ball light. Dennis, welcome, my friend. Good to see you here. Looks like you did a great job. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. And if I could do it, I'm gonna tell you right now, anybody can. You know what the biggest issue was when you're, in my opinion, when you're doing anything with sheetrock? Patience. Take your time. Go slow. And have patience, because it's not just throwing panels on a wall. There's a lot more to it. In the beginning, when in this last week's video, when I was throwing some boards up there, I cracked some pieces because I wasn't measuring them properly. Measure twice, make sure that you got it all dry fit, before you put the piece in place, that don't force anything or you'll have breaks and cracks. And then the other trick was, and I'd seen this in a couple of different videos, have as few seams as possible to tape, cut seams. The factory seams were super easy to tape and super easy to get completely, to finish off. I did end up buying a 12-inch knife as well as, so Word loaned me a 6-inch and a 10-inch knife, and I went and bought a 12-inch knife. So I ended up getting that because for me, it was easier having something that would spread it further and then have something that I could feather further on both sides. I put the pressure, this is 12 inches. So I'd be coming down and then I'd maybe put the pressure on this side to feather it out this way. And I'd put the pressure on that side to feather it out that way. But patience was the key, I think. Right? Ouch on the lumber costs. It's crazy. It's crazy. Suzanne says, I love white. I remodeled my house a couple of years ago and painted all the inside of your house white, clean and bright. And that was one of the other reasons why I went with the white in the kitchen, is because it's so much brighter in there. And I don't have a lot of lighting in the cabin because in the summer I need almost no, from say mid-April till mid-September, I don't need any lighting in the living room at all. No lighting in this part of the cabin. But the rest of the year, I need lighting, and that's when I'm going to be using the kitchen the most. So 84 degrees on the tri-tip right now. So I really wanted to go with white on that. Bill at Lone Moose, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Very good to see you. Remember when screwing into the sheetrock not to go too deep and pierce the paper, but go deep enough to mud over the screws without them sticking out. That is true. So when I started screwing everything in, I was using my regular DeWalt cordless drill, and I was fighting, because you do need a little bit of pressure to go in there. And if you watched it in the beginning, you heard me spin it, pop, 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 pop a couple of times. And I switched over to the impact drill. And then it was tap, tap, tap with the trigger, because it was and then I was fine. I had a couple of screws that went a little deep, but generally speaking, everything was right where it was. And then before I started putting the mud on everything, I actually took the 6-inch knife and then ran it up and down the lines where I had the screws. And anytime I heard a ping, there was a screw. I had a hand screwdriver, twisted it in a little bit further until I didn't hear the ping anymore. So, but that's good advice right there. William Strom, good to see you, my friend. Glad to see you're doing well. Been off YouTube for a while. Have you? Well, welcome back. Glad to see you. I'm doing good, man. No complaints. No complaints from Alaska. Eves, welcome, my friend. It's from St. There we go. Let me do this again. St. Columban, Quebec. Nice to have you. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. Joseph, I got my ice cream fix yesterday, Joseph. Oh, Robert, you did yours with a skill saw. Cool. Yeah, I mean, so I bought a jig. Craig Jig makes, and it's not a commercial for Craig Jigs, but Craig Jigs are awesome. So my pocket drill jig that I have is a Craig, and I bought a Craig jig for the circular saw that's going to allow me to rip those longer pieces that I'm going to need. And I'm ready, man. This is going to be fun. This is going to be another neat thing to do. Madunanda says, only problem we had, my brother's car got into a ditch twice. Oh, ugh, bummer. But the rest was fun. And then you can laugh about that now, right? Nobody got hurt. You can laugh about it. Lindsay Sims, I plan to do my countersink cabinets with a handsaw once I have my logs squared up with a chainsaw, do 3-inch slab, seal and coat. Yep, exactly. And down the road when I decide to pull the trigger on a log cabin, which I would have always, that's what I had intended to build the first time. I'll probably do everything with hand tools. I mean, it can be done. I see Sean James build everything with hand tools. He's got a mill now too, but he'll mill the wood and then he'll use hand tools to put it all together. You could easily do it with hand tools, but this cabin's becoming more of a learning experience, I think, for me than anything else. And so I'm trying to do some nice stuff with it that you normally would not do in cabin, right? So it'll ask you to do a free ways to optimize the sheets. Some make the bases separately out of the scrap. Okay. The bases for me of all the cabinets will be 2x4s. I'm just going to build 2x4 bases on the floor, the full length. Then I can level those out completely. And then all I'll be doing at that point is just setting the cabinet on the 2x4 bases. And then I'll come across and put a piece of finished wood across the bottom of the base. So it looks nice. But after looking at a bunch of different ways to do it, I liked building them. I like the idea of building it that way because then I'm not having to level every cabinet. I just level the base and they're all good to go when it's done. All you need for cabinets is a skill saw and a homemade track. And I could put a homemade track together. You can use scrap wood to make the track. Oh, CK, your husband likes the hat. He wants to know where I got it. Well, I got this hat, and it says on the brim here, Big Ass Fish Company. That's the name of the place, and they're called BAFCO, BAFCO. And I got it at the Frozen River Festival, I think the second or third year, because they build a lot of metal stuff. So they build these big steel barbecues, steel grills with flat tops on them and a hole in the middle for the flames to come up. They're great. They're really, really cool. And they're cooking food there all day long. Well, then the father of the clan, his name is Jody, and he has these hats for sale. So I bought one for myself. Then I bought one for my brother Jody, because I have a brother named Jody. And every year I see him, I buy a new hat. So I've got like 4 or 5 of these things now. Super comfortable. They are flex fit, which for me is the only way to go with a baseball cap of any kind now is a flex fit hat, because they stay nice and snug on you and you don't have to adjust them. They're super awesome. But yeah, love it. Greg, welcome, my friend. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. Patience. That's why I hate drywall. My entire life for the last few years has been a test in patience. And I'm glad to say that Sean of today can handle that. Sean of 15 years ago could not have, but Sean of today can handle that. The shelves I made in the pantry turned out great. I'm going to actually change those, I think, because I want to add some more to them. But they're very stable. I mean, they're full right now. They're very stable. Thank you very much, Madhu. I greatly appreciate that. Michigan Daffodil, welcome. We still got time. You're not too late. We can hang out. William Strom is saying, Sean, you can build a table for the skill saw and mount it upside down. And yes, I can. I could. But man, I'm kind of really limited for space in here. The inside of this place right now is a disaster, and it's going to stay that way until I get the cabinets in the kitchen because I, I'm not going to just keep moving kitchen stuff into the kitchen stuff back into the living room, back into the kitchen, back in the living room. So I need to find a way to have room in here while I'm working and still live in here because it's a mess. I'm going to take a picture after this live, and matter of fact, I'll probably do it with a video camera from upstairs in the loft to show you what a disaster this freaking inside of this place is. Joe Montano, welcome, my friend. Glad to see you. Better late than never. I painted my house with birch wood. I hope you clear that up because I missed it. Darwin Franzen, welcome. Enjoy your video. Spent 3 years in Fairbanks while stationed at Eielson. Thank you for your service. You may leave Alaska, but Alaska never leaves you. That is the truth. Happy New Year from Nebraska. I am a firm believer that if you are in Alaska and you stay for the first winter and you're not trying to leave after the first winter, you will never get Alaska out of your blood. Once it's in there, once you have it, no place is the same. It is incredible. Jess at Rain Dance Bushcraft, good to see you, my friend. Awesome to have you here tonight. Raquel, welcome. Glad you can make it today. Holy smokes, there's 116 people in here. Hi, guys. I almost missed your live. I'm not feeling well because of nasty flu. I hope you feel better soon. Glad you're here, and I hope you hang out for as long as you can. But if you're sick and you're tired, I understand. Get some sleep. Get some rest. There's a bug running around, and usually sleep gets rid of all of it, right? Joseph, 3 scoops of ice cream coffee with a drizzle of chocolate syrup and caramel syrup. Moderation is the key, right? Until you need an extra scoop. There's a reason why Sean doesn't have ice cream in his house. I would eat it all. I don't care how big the ice cream container is. I will eat it all. I cannot stop. Daughter! Ashley! I hope you got pictures of Rosie down at Sissy's house. I just talked to her on the phone before I went live today, and she said Rose is out playing in the snow for the first time. Super, super awesome. That is so cool. I love you too, babe. That's my youngest daughter, Ash. Thank you very much for Suzanne, or for that, Suzanne. You hit the like button. It's a great thing. It helps out the channel a lot, especially when I'm doing these lives, because when other people are just surfing around YouTube and I'm live, YouTube says, hey, there's a lot of people that like what this guy's doing. Well, let's suggest it to them. So it just helps everything out, and I greatly appreciate it. Smile Hunter, how you doing? Good to see you. Awesome to see you today. Warren Foster, it's going fantastic, man. It's going absolutely cool. Right, Ray Martinez, don't quit your J job. No time soon, Ray. No time soon. Right, Robert? Alaska ruined me to live anyplace else. That's the truth. That is the truth. Shawnee Shave, good to see you. Glad you could pop in today. Josh Norbert, welcome, my friend. Evening, looking forward to every Friday video and Sunday live. Big inspiration. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. You guys want to see what the snow's doing right now? Here, we'll do the snow cam update. Oh. There we go. Is that beautiful or what? I'm going to tell you that as of this morning, there was no snow on any of my trees at all because we had the rain, and there was no snow on the roof. It all shed this morning. Super pretty. I could look out that window and watch it snow all day long. Absolutely gorgeous. Ward, good seeing you, brother. I'll talk to you later on this week. I see Ward sneaking out of here. And O'Brien, welcome. Good to see you. Look forward to all your videos. Love Alaska. From what I see on the videos, thank you very much. There's going to be a lot more of Alaska, I think, this year in my videos too, because I've already said that the last couple of years I've just been locked in on the property, and I definitely need to get out and explore and share Alaska with you guys, because that's why I moved here, right? I moved here to buy a piece of land and to build a place by hand for the first time ever in my entire life, to do it without incurring too much debt. I have some credit card debt, but not bad. And to explore Alaska because I love it and I really want to share that with everybody. How's the stove install going? Well, like I said earlier, that's kind of put on hold right now because I have a disaster. I have a mess over here. And I need to get one project done before I get on the next project. But I'm not concerned. I'm less concerned about doing that than I am about getting the cabinets built in the kitchen. That's Greg. That's what I'm going to do. You could do all your cutting outside, keep the sawdust inside. And I will tell you, and I mentioned it in this video that you're going to see next week. Um, man, sanding sheetrock and doing sheetrock in a house where you're living in it is a mess. It's an absolute mess. I have dust everywhere. What I should have done was drop down some plastic because I have a roll of vapor barrier in the truck. I should have just stapled it up and dropped it down to keep that stuff in there, but I didn't. And so now I've got a mess everywhere. Ward, go watch the snow, my brother. Good to see you as always. The important thing is patience. A hammer flies very well from one side of the room to the other. All right. Are you watching me? You got a camera in here somewhere? You can see what I'm doing. I have been known to snap. I don't ever put that in my videos because usually there's a lot of expletives that go with it. If there were no expletives, then I would probably leave it in my video. But yeah, I've been known to get a little upset, usually and always at myself, because I know when something goes absolutely terribly wrong, I know it was my fault and I knew that was going to happen before I did it. Nice. Love it so much you hit the like button twice. Jess, you roll like that, man. You're just a great guy. The Rose family vlog, welcome. Good to see you. Hi, Sean from North Carolina. We almost have the floors done in the bus, getting ready to move up there. We'll be working on the cabinets about the same time. Very cool. Very cool. That's going to be exciting. Todd still got snow sliding off his roof. Mine's clear, Todd. You were here yesterday, and there was still some snow on it. And as of this morning, there is none, man. I heard it while I'm sitting here having coffee this morning. Boom. It was awesome. Right? Bill, I'm telling you, man, when you get up here, you're going to lose a lot of time in your day just by looking out the window. All right, let's see where we're at with our tri-tip right now. So I have it set for 125 degrees. We're at 91 on the internal temperature right now. And that'll give me a nice rare piece of meat. It'll be kind of medium rare on the tail end, but on the fat end, where I'll be making all the sandwiches from medium rare, it'll be delicious. And Robert has shared the link for Jess's channel, Rain Dance Bushcraft. Jess goes live every Tuesday night as well. Ton of fun. Great guy. His lives are a lot of fun. Same here. No snow on the ground. Went to bed last night. Woke up to a thick blanket. Nice. Nice. Chris, welcome. Good to see you. Shout out from the old sod. Very awesome. I was listening to a little Arna G yesterday and this morning. William says, the last time I was in Alaska was 1980, and I came from a tropical zone and wasn't dressed for the weather. That'll do it, right? When I left Alaska the first time, I left Fairbanks. I believe it was winter. It was like 30 below zero when I left Fairbanks, and I went from there to Houston, Texas. And I did not put on anything more than a light shirt for the first 3 months I was in Houston because, and then it was winter because it was like 65 or 70 down there. And people were wearing parkas, and I'm wearing short pants, a light shirt, flip-flops. I used to travel just to ski. I got old and just missed the snow. I used to ski quite a bit too, and I got older, and I said, man, if I hurt something, it's just going to take forever to heal. So now I'll throw the snowshoes on and get out there and play around in the snowshoes. Oop. There goes the roof, shedding a bit. Nice. The snow slowed way down here and the flakes are smaller. It hasn't slowed down here at all. We must be getting what you were getting earlier. So we got it for a bit anyway. Lisa K, welcome. Glad you can make it. So we're 47 minutes in, guys. We're like, we got about 18, probably about 17, 18 minutes left of this week's live. Any questions, any comments, anything you guys think I need to know about? Suggestions be greatly appreciated. I'll answer anything I can. My part of Michigan was likely to get a second real snow this winter season this week. First was Halloween. Yeah, it's been a weird winter down south, but you guys are going to get hit late. I think it's going to happen all at once and late. Chris has just got a little bit of ice in the old sod there in Ireland. What county, Chris? Winter in Texas just sucks. It was 70 here yesterday and 30 last night and 60 today, then thunderstorms overnight. The dogs have prepared. The thunderstorms in Texas, though, are incredible. Coming in off the Gulf. The most humbling experience of my life was my first big Texas thunderstorm, and I was like, wow. Jess says, I'm not a big skier, but you do love your snowshoes. Yeah. And that's me anymore. Like I said, cross country skiing is something I'd be interested in learning because I've never really done that. But snowshoes are a ton of fun. But cross country skiing would be kind of cool. Sean, I say we all send Joseph our snow this week. Joseph, Lindsay said it. So we're going to send you, after today, I'm going to send you the rest of the snow that we're going to have for this week. You can have it down there in Philly. Right? Yeah. It hurts. You get older, you're like, no, I can't. Lisa K, I'm hanging out next to my wood burning stove in the 20s there. Nice. Oh, in Cork. Awesome. Very cool. Cork is a nice music center. There's a lot of good music in Cork. There's a lot of good music in Cork. Warren, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. Live chats to me are a ton of fun. The reason why I stop them around May and don't start them up till October or late October is because we have so many people down here, vacationing and fishing and visiting Alaska that our small cellular network, and I hotspot my entire internet signal every day off of that cell network, just gets so jammed, it's really tough to go live. And honestly, even if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't go live during that period of time because we have such a short window to get anything done that, I'm doing everything I can outside during that period. And when I'm not working on a weekend and I don't have a project or something going on here at the cabin, I'm fishing. So, I mean, priorities, right? Enrique, welcome. Good to have you here today. Greetings from Europe. Very cool. What part of Europe, my friend? I think we all get hammered now till spring. Lakes aren't frozen at all. Going to be lots of lake. Yep, lots of lakes. No effect. Where was I at here? Joseph, send it. Very cool. Okay, it's on the way, dude. It's sent. Love snowshoeing. Looking for some bushwhacker skis. Nice. There's just something cool about walking on top of the snow. And there's a video from way back when I got some snowshoes and I decided I was going to go snowshoeing in my kilt and I just freaking ate it and it was cold. I will tell you, it was cold. But yeah, I'll be snowshoeing in the kilt again this year. I think it's about time for the kilt to come back out again. Lisa K says, I'm in Northeast Ohio. We have a nice 4 inches of snow, makes everything pretty. It does. Snow makes everything beautiful. It makes everything. It's like when they talk about a blanket of snow, that's exactly how I see it. Is it's a blanket over everything, right? Everything goes to sleep, and the snow is there. It's peaceful, and then spring comes, and everything explodes. I love the seasons. I love the seasons. Barry Young, welcome. Glad you could be here today. You're just getting snow there now? Awesome. Will I be getting solar panels? Yes, I have two right now, and I'll probably be hooking those up in spring. Right now, it doesn't make any sense. We don't get enough sunlight here in my part of Alaska this time of year to have panels. And I mean, if you don't believe me, Todd, you're in here. Tell him how much power you get generated from your panels, because Todd is also he's across the street from me and down the road, but he's 100% off grid with panels and generators. So it doesn't make any sense to try and fight them right now, but I plan to eventually have everything here at the cabin powered 100% by solar. So, and generator, obviously, in the winter. Well, the Gene, crazy question, but how in the world did you keep your feet warm while living in the trailer? I had two buddy heaters. So I had what I called my regular buddy heater that would sit on the table in the kitchen, right? And it's just a fifth wheel trailer. And then I had the other small buddy heater that I called a buddy feeder because I would put it on the floor and come to my feet. But even then, when I didn't run that, because I only ran that obviously when I was home, if I didn't have that running all the time, I had 4 pairs of socks on. It was brutally cold. The floor in trailers are not designed for that kind of living. Jonathan, you please send the snow to Sneedsville, Tennessee. Dude, what would that do to your area if I decided to send, say, a 6 inches or a foot of snow down there? You guys would be paralyzed. I'm not going to be responsible for that. Oh, Enrique, you're in Portugal. Very cool. Jill, welcome. Good to see you. Do I ever fish for halibut? Yeah, last year I went out. I actually have a video of it. My fishing buddy Susan, the school teacher from up in the valley, she comes down a couple of times a year. Usually we book a fishing trip together. We go out and fill our freezers. So she takes half and I take half, and she takes half back to her and her daughter up there, and her grandkids, and then I keep the other half in my freezer down here. But I went halibut and salmon, or halibut and cod fishing last year with a great outfit out of Kenai. I'll probably get with them again this year. And then I go salmon fishing on the river all the time. I want to do some trout fishing and some grayling fishing though, because I grew up fishing for and eating trout, and I absolutely love them. I love trout. I'm probably a bit more of a trout fan than I am a salmon fan. Uh, and I haven't done that much of it. And this is between here and New Zealand, they're like the greatest rivers in the world for trout fishing. Some of the biggest trout you'll ever catch in your life are on the Kenai River. So I really want to get into more of that this year. Robert, never doing that in my kilt. Just don't own a kilt, but I spent 2 hours shoveling your shorts today, right? Yeah, because you build up the heat, and I don't know what it is, and I don't know if it's just me, but really, other than my feet, from like my ankles to my waist, that part of my body almost never gets cold. 63 clocks, welcome. Good to see you. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that. Weatherman said 3 inches of snow for Philly today. You got a half an inch of brown mush. Lindsay says, as long as I get enough to light up an LED light, I'm going to do solar and wind at your land near Toke. Maybe enough to charge your phone too. Yeah, you'll want to do that. You'll find that there's some things that you'll just want to have, especially in Toke where you have much shorter days than we have down here. The darkness will weigh on you after a while, and there's only so much you can do with headlamps. So, I mean, kerosene lamps, obviously, but it's nice to have some LED lights, and you can run quite a few of those LED strip lights for an awful long time on a car battery. So there's something else to think about. Craig Porter, welcome. Glad you can make it today from Homer. You're headed your way today, but the roads aren't worth it, right? Exactly. Yeah, I was thinking I was going to drive into town today and pick up a 6-pack, and I said, nah, I'm not doing that. That's not worth it. 97 degrees on the tri-tip. It's working its way up slowly. Todd has 12 100-watt panels of power production for the last 2 months. Todd runs a lot more electrical stuff than I do. He's got refrigerators, freezers. During the summer, he runs an air fryer. He does a lot more kitchen stuff. That was another comment that came up in this week's video that I address in next week's video. But since you're here on the live, I'll mention it too. I had a lot of people say there's no power outlets, right? I'm off grid. I don't own anything electrical that I would use in a kitchen. I have no intention of buying anything electrical that I would use in a kitchen because other than a toaster, I can't think of one electrical item in a kitchen that I would want to have other than my refrigerator. So my refrigerator is going on this one wall here against the pantry. And I'll have one other outlet above that counter over on the back end of that wall. I can cut those in when I get ready to run the power there without any problem at all. So there's really no need to worry about anything over here, worry about anything over there. And all my lighting is going to be 12 volt in the ceiling. So I might bring some extra 12 volt wiring and drop it down from the top behind the cabinets, behind the uppers. We'll see what happens, but I don't really need any outlets. I don't have anything I run that's electrical in a kitchen. I don't have a food processor. And the only reason I'm probably going to put the extra outlet in there is so that when I'm processing fish into, with my food saver bags, I can just plug it in and do it on the counter as opposed to running the generator and doing it outside. Carol L., welcome. Good to see you. Awesome to have you here today. Michigan Daffodil, Sean, I'm making sandwich bread in a Pullman loaf pan tonight. I hope hubby likes the texture for sandwiches. So nice. Pullman bread. That's from a long way back. Most people don't even know what that is anymore. For those that don't know, a Pullman bread has the same crust all the way around. It doesn't have a round crust on top of the bread. It's cooked in a pan that you slide a lid on top of so that when it bakes, it doesn't pop out in the oven. It fills the square. And they were really popular years ago in the 70s, 60s, and earlier. But you don't see them that often anymore. Texas toast, I think, is still made in a Pullman pan. Exactly. Trailers are poorly insulated, hence our project. Exactly. Crisp, pretty brown trout in your Irish lakes, right? Yeah. When I was in Ireland, I didn't fish, but I would not be opposed to going back and doing a fishing trip over there. I didn't spend nearly as much time as I wanted to in the village that we're from in Leitrim. I was there with my brother for an afternoon, but I think I would like to explore it a little deeper and get a little bit more of our family history out. Right? Definitely. Looking forward to the fishing. Trout and grayling. Do I fly fish? Yes, but very poorly. And I have all that stuff here. Grayling would be something I'd like to do, but trout is hard to beat. When you cook trout on a campfire, or even smoked trout, when you smoke trout like a salmon, oh, it's yummy. It is yummy. I like that. Nope, 75 in the trailer with the oil heater, but floors are like ice. You got mucklucks and slippers on your feet, still cold. One of the things I did that might help you, Lila, is pick up some hallway carpeting, the cheap stuff that you can buy at the box stores. Pick up a couple of rolls and lay it in layers across your floor. And it'll act like insulation on your floor, and it'll make it a lot more comfortable to walk on. Julie Clary, good to see you, Julie. Glad you could make it today. Jason in Nikiski, what's happening? Why not a propane fridge? Because modern refrigerators, now that's a legitimate question, because there's a lot of folks that buy Unique brand. That's the name. Unique is the brand name. Unique refrigerators, and they are propane refrigerators. They require a great deal of maintenance compared to a regular refrigerator. Still not that hard. It's not that difficult. They're very well insulated, but you lose a lot of space on the inside. But the main reason I'm not interested in going that route is because they are expensive. The same reason why I'm not going with an off-grid stove, because they're ridiculous in price. So for a 30-inch off-grid stove, oven, because I want a good-sized oven, I'm looking at $2,500, right? But I can buy a battery ignition propane stove that does not require electricity and works off a 9-volt alkali battery. I can buy one of those for $650. And I already have propane. I'll already need propane for the stove. So I'm not worried about that. A stove doesn't use that much propane. But with the efficiency of modern refrigerators, I can get a refrigerator freezer for a lot less money than what I would spend for an off-grid type one. And I can build a decent enough battery system to be able to keep it running with no problems at all. If that's my only main electrical draw, it'd be a lot cheaper and easier for me in the long run. I got way going there chatting. We got about 3 minutes left. Let me see if I can run through here real quick and see if I missed anything. Exactly, Jill. That's what I do now. I make toast in the skillet, and it comes out fantastic every time. You need to find a Pullman fan. I got started on that. No 24-hour Sean-a-thon. The 3-hour Christmas ones pretty much destroy me as it is. Does anyone else have the old-fashioned kerosene hurricane lamps? You mean like these? I have 2 of them right here, and I have 2 more of them over there. I don't smell the kerosene in them all. I buy the lamp oil from Walmart in the big jugs. I don't really get much of a smell off of them at all, except when I blow them out. You get the residual smell then, but generally, other than that, not much. All right, going through here quick. Everybody's talking about Pullman pans. Does the DOT in Alaska throw salt on the roads any time of year? Yes. They have a brine mixture they spray on the roads. There's a big battle over it on the Kenai Peninsula right now. So Funny River Road is the test road for plowing and sanding instead of doing the brine. Where I'm from, it was always, in the Sierra Nevadas, it was always plowing and sanding. And that was never really a problem. But man, they really like the brine up here. So hopefully they'll stop doing that because it really destroys cars. Right, there we go. We just use a regular eco-friendly fridge. Doesn't take a lot from your solar panels. That's where I'm going with it. Navy Dave, Happy New Year, my friend. Good to see you. You're in here just as I'm getting ready to pop out. I'm scrolling through real quick to see if there's anything that I missed. All right, with that, we're going to jump off and call it a day, guys. Thank you very much for joining me as always. Thanks for the constant support, the encouragement. Thanks for letting me know what you're doing, because I greatly love whenever anybody tells me, because you did this, I'm now doing that. Man, that makes my entire day. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. Have a fantastic weekend. I got 100 degrees on the tri-tip, 25 more degrees to go, and then we'll be having dinner. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you next Sunday. Friday with a new video, Sunday live. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm Sean in Alaska, and I'm out of here. See ya.